The score is tied 1-1. Gumiho brought it back, and now we're going into our next matchup with his new hero, Blaze. It's 3-0 versus Zerg. He's got that upwards arrow. 8-3 in Pro League. Incredible record.
Yeah, it's so impressive, and he's beaten some big names. I mean, he took down Life with that proxy 2 gate in the middle of Cactus Valley. He's done some interesting styles, but man, he's actually kind of come out of nowhere and played so well.
Ever since he changed his ID, he really has been a new player, new refinement. He's always been around as Panic, you know, but his old ID, but now he's back. Now Symbol, one of the oldest esports players, one of the people who's been around since the very beginning of StarCraft 2, since the beta, the old, you know, anchor, the old ace player of TSL. He's been around a lot of teams. He was on Azubu for a while. Now he's found his home on Jin Air. I was really happy he got this pickup on this team because that was at least an indicator that he's still good enough that one of our top Korean teams does want him, but he's still missing the results.
Well, I mean, he's played, what, twice this season? That says a lot. You know, he simply has not been finding any success at all in the team house. So let's see what he can do here against such a favored opponent.
Alrighty, guys. Game number 3 is on Cactus Valley. Let's get into it. To the bottom left, in teal, it's Blaze.
To the top left, generic greenings, Zerg. He is Symbol. Surprise player today.
Yeah. Yeah, you grabbed him all the way from Busan.
Whoa. That's a real fan right there, Wolf.
Yeah.
It's expensive to get here from Busan. You gotta buy a train ticket.
Yeah, it's actually a really expensive time of year.
Maybe like $100.
Yeah, at least. So it's a great time. You know, there's a lot of things going on right now. You know, it's summer. It's great to go to the beach. But if you go to the beach, you have to come back, right? So then the train ticket from Busan back to Seoul is expensive. But there's also this other thing going on in Seoul right now called Pro League. And so there's like a lot of people coming from Busan to Seoul because they're like, you know what, Pro League is about to end here, about to go into postseason. And so they're all getting really excited. So the train ticket price is obviously going to go up.
Just for this alone, I mean, the audience is packed out today, Wolf, simply because of this fact. You know, it's the last week of the round robin.
Yeah.
It all comes down to this. So many teams are tied up. Who's going to make it into 3rd and 4th? We don't even know at this point.
Exactly. I mean, it's one of the tightest tie situations that we've had in Pro League. I mean, there have been similar scenarios like this. This sort of thing usually occurs when one team dominates, and that's, of course, SKT in this case. And for there to be a dominant team like that, there's usually also a team that got crushed, which in this case is Prime. So you take those teams away, then CJ kind of loops up into 2nd place, and now you've got the rest of the teams are all basically so close to each other that every win, every point matters. And so, you know, to win 3-0 is obviously much more valuable than win 3-1 or 3-2.
Well, 1-0 so far. Blaze certainly favored in this matchup. I'm curious to see what Symbol can do because we just don't know about this guy anymore. You know, he just doesn't come out to play in Pro League, and he doesn't really have any success anywhere else.
I think the last time I saw him play was Code A, and he didn't look super solid.
I haven't been impressed with him in a long time, which is a sad thing to say because he is one of the old favorites. You know?
Yeah, he's like a GSL finalist. I believe he lost to Roro in the ZVZ finals. The only title that Roro ever got in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, I miss Roro. That guy was great.
He was so good, man. Imagine if he was still around, how much stronger Samsung's new evolved lineup
They would be so strong. Like, if he was still on top of his game, like, he was one of the best Zergs for the longest time.
He had, like, a 9-0 record in ZVP on Sejong Station as well. He was just like, he's like, it's okay. If you see Roro on that map, it's like, just already give a point to Samsung. That's it.
Yeah, he was something else. So far this game, Forge Fast Expand. And beyond that, just normal sort of build order from Symbol. Not too surprised going to 3 hatches is the natural reaction to this.
Yeah. Overlord's going to scout this scenario, knows what he's up against. I'd like to see Symbol do well today. Just let's see the old Symbol.
It would be a nice thing, Wolf.
Yeah.
It would be a nice thing.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I'm also interested to see what Blaze has planned because Blaze has come into every match so far in Pro League very prepared, with a very specific build order for the player. What is it going to be today? So far, it's very standard sort of opening, but it kind of branches off from here once that Cybercore is finished.
I expect to see Phoenixes, but
you want Phoenixes
after Oracles, right? Like, or maybe like one Oracle into Phoenix. I think it's really strong.
Look at this probe there. What does that say to you?
Well, it looks like maybe
it says danger.
It says danger. That's definitely the number one thing. Could also be Proxy Oracle. Could also be what that's saying.
That would be ambitious.
Okay, he's just gonna go scout, or perhaps make a forward pylon with it. The Stargate's in the main.
You know what I'd love to see? I want to bring back the meta of like +1 Zealots and like Oracle or Phoenix. Just go for that and go for the kill in the third base.
You know, I was playing a lot of, like I said, the Void this week, and it's like the charge Zealots with a bonus damage when they charge into things is actually crazy.
I can imagine that. That's almost insane. I haven't had a chance to play Legacy much because I'm always just so. I feel like
on HOTS first, right?
Yeah, I'm a HOTS boy. Both HOTS.
Both HOTS, man.
Both HOTS, man.
HOTS pros for life.
Yep.
Or until the expansion.
Yep. All about that. But there's a lot of interesting things are happening with the Legacy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Phoenix after all. Look at that.
Yeah. He wants that Overlord, too. It'd be crazy if he went like one Phoenix into Oracle. He's like, ha, I tricked you.
That'd be a cool mind game.
I don't think he's going to do it, though.
At the same time, though, I mean, Phoenix usually force out spores as well, so it's like, well, you made the counter to Phoenix, to Oracles anyway, so it doesn't work out.
Yeah, it's like trying to go like, Oracles into DTs in PvT.
It just doesn't happen, right? Yeah. It just doesn't happen.
He's going to kill that Overlord right away. And he's going to go now scout with that Phoenix. Second Overlord isn't spotted yet. It's pretty strategically placed, so he's not going to get that for a while. See a Roachhorn coming up here for Symbol. Okay, now he sees that second Overlord. He's going to deny the scout on the Forge.
Now we see +1 on the way. A few more gateways. Let's see how many more he adds. If he stays at 4, then it should be a third base. If he adds a few more, maybe he's going to go for some real aggression.
That probe, the danger probe over there.
There's a lot of potential there. I mean, even 4-gate Zealots can take down a hatchery if the player is unprepared and not enough roaches are out, or even if they are out, the Phoenix get the gravity beam onto them.
Yeah. This probe moving now to the top right. Still unscouted, I believe, just barely out of vision of those Overlords. He's not sending anything to it, so he's definitely unscouted. This is actually a lot of Overlords he's losing here. Like, you know, it's causing him to have to remake 4 Overlords at this point in time to make sure he has units to defend.
That's a lot of Overlords. That's actually a big problem as well. And we're seeing more and more Phoenix come out here. It's actually going up to 6 now, I believe. That's actually getting out of hand.
You can just lift up Queens.
It says a lot, too. It says a lot about he plans for aggression, and he could very well go for it on that third base.
+1 is not done yet, but it's almost there. 8 Roaches on the way. Obviously, he can lift those up, as you mentioned before. Grabbing a Queen. He's keeping all of these units on the ramp, but the third base is actually where he needs to be worried, and he's actually going to pool these Zealots.
Yep. I figured as much.
And he's just going to go in there with like 8 or 12 Zealots probably.
Maybe just claim the hatchery or at least create a lot of disturbance. And all the Roaches that are in the natural and main base are going to have to move over, and they're going to get picked up by the Phoenix.
Here they come. Yeah, the Phoenixes are in such a great place to zone this. Here we go. Exactly as you mentioned, the Phoenix is ready to zone and lift the Roaches. Lings are not going to be happy to fight this. Already 1 Roach lifted, 2 Roaches. Good control here, keeping the Lings to help buffer those Zealots away to give time for the Roaches to come in here.
Yeah, he actually didn't pick up really many Roaches at all. A lot less than I expected. And that's so many Zealots to commit to.
Yeah. He actually made an Evo Chamber wall he just canceled. He probably wishes he didn't cancel it now with the next wave of Zealots coming in. 13 Zealots now on the map.
Wow. Such an old school style, but I do like it. He's going to go for the natural perhaps, which is going to force the Roaches to come out of the cover of that Spore again.
Yeah, that Spore doing so much work defensively here. It's just not going to matter though. Even with just 1 Spore, you can actually just tank it with the Phoenixes.
Straight for that hatchery. More Roaches just popped out there.
Yeah, it looks like you might actually just try to surround them and fight them here, but I think going for the hatchery would definitely be the better option. Now the Roaches having to kite here. The Zealots continue to chase. During all of this, he's actually following up with Immortals back at home and getting the +1 armor, so don't forget that that's going on. But Hydra's coming out. He needs to make sure he can keep them all together because one at a time the Phoenixes will annihilate them.
That's a lot of Hydras coming out there, 14 at a time. So Immortal in behind this shouldn't really work out, but we are seeing that that Bay beyond that, so Colossus will be a good counter to it all. Beyond all that, not too much damage done to Symbol, really. If Symbol just follows up with a huge Roach Hydra attack, he could very well just do the damage he needs to and win the game. That's
true.
Or, go into Spire, go into Corruptors perhaps, and try and deal with it that way.
So, adding a 4th base. Better hope those Zealots don't find it. And a third base here for Blaze. That base is just super unprotected. There's a lot of creep spread over there, but the Hydras are kept busy at the moment.
Yeah, cleaning up one of those pylons as well, so maybe a little bit more safer for it. We are seeing a third base go up.
I think that Blaze is just going to have an empty third here and do an attack with Colossus, Immortal, not Blink Stalker, but Stalker Sentry.
Yeah, I mean, we are seeing 3 more gateways be added, and not around that third base either. And Colossus on the way. Yeah. It's a powerful army for what Symbol has right now, that's for sure.
It's kind of like the direct counter to it, but if Symbol can just simply overwhelm it, I think that's the way he beats this.
Yeah, you really have to at this point when you're behind in tech or where you want to be with your tech. You kind of have to go from multiple angles and try and force out the force fields or try and avoid them by simply going from every angle.
He could get some Corruptors, too.
Look how late that Hydra range is. That's actually a huge blunder from Symbol, and that could very well cost him the game because so many force fields are going to go down and zone out a lot of them.
Yeah, he's never going to be able to fight that Colossus with the Hydras with good force fields here. And even just simply the ground army is going to be blocking him out. Good concave here at the top of the ramp. He's even moving up those Spore Crawlers, which could do some serious work. Already force fields going down here. He's going to target down that Spore. Second Spore unable to burrow where he wants it to because of those force fields. And a huge warp in the Stalkers. This is a game, this fight's going to decide the game. Good forces here, but he needs to pull the Colossus back. He does not.
Oh my god, really bad engagement from Blaze. Just not force fielding early enough. And this could very well cost him the game. That Colossus was so essential to this.
It was the backbone of the army, and it's broken now. And look at this, force fields fading away, now being overwhelmed by half, maybe even a third of Symbol's army. And that's going to be game. Essentially, he's got nothing to fall back on. He canceled his third base.
Half the supply right now.
It's like the one thing he had to do was micro that Colossus and do better force field zoning, and he just couldn't do it.
Well, he force fielded like all the roaches that needed to be there in. So it's like they were just so delayed. It was actually so strange how delayed those force fields were, and it cost him the game completely.
Well, he's just now going to try to counter Symbol's army, but Symbol's economy is just... It's so good that he's simply going to overwhelm him. He's never going to be able to have a third base, and without a third base, he's never going to be able to make enough Colossi. And Symbol can make Corruptors if he wants to at any point and just overwhelm the tiny Colossus army that doesn't even have Colossi in it yet.
He could even just go into mute a Corruptor. He could do whatever he wants from this point. He might lose that fourth base. We see a lot of Zealots on it right now.
Yeah, he's trying to distract this army. He's like, all right, if you send it over to deal with my Zealots, I'm going to do damage to my Phoenixes. If you defend with the Phoenixes, I'm going to kill your hatchery. But Phoenix is only 4 of them, I believe, not going to be able to find too much damage. And Symbol's just so far ahead, he's got double the army supply. He can just split this army. He's going to catch a Phoenix here.
I think he's going to go for the kill here. He's waiting outside the base, just getting everything in place before he goes for that attack from multiple angles.
Hydra speed and +2 about to finish. And he's actually, yeah, like you said, going for 2 angles here. Force field zone out. Small part of the army, but the big part of the army is the issue. And these Stalkers are like just stuck out here. That's single file only into that base.
That's so rough. That's hard to see. Hard to look at. No Mothership Core, by the way. It's going to really make defending a lot harder, as well as getting your army out of there.
This is just, this is starting to get pretty dicey here for Blaze.
This is a beatdown, man. From here,
what's he going to do?
He can't really do much at all. Now that Corruptors are coming out, he's going to have a good counter to the Phoenix and Colossus.
So desperate trying to warp in these Zealots for harass. Off 2 base. That's a Nexus worth of Zealots right there, but you can never take a Nexus anyway. 2 Spores in place, can't even drop them. 6 Corruptors. So many drones, 62 drones. He's like almost got more drones than army supply for Blaze. Another big warp in here.
Wow.
Let's see if Symbol panics about this.
Well, he's going to lose a base at this rate because his army's completely out of position. Going to run into it with his Lings. So he's going to know where it is so he can move back and try and fight this army. But if he gets in a good engage or even a bad engage on what Blaze has right now, he just wins the game.
Yeah, it's like basically Blaze needs to kill a base and somehow win this fight. And if he can do both, then he's even with Symbol. So it's going to basically be a miracle.
Here we go.
Oh, man, these Corruptors are already on top of the Colossi. And using that Corruption ability as well. Force fields here trying to help zone, but the Colossi start to fall. 2 of them down already, and once those force fields fade, this game is over. GG. And JIN Air takes a 2-1 lead. Did not expect these results.
I got to say, JIN Air defeating Symbol, well, in general, Symbol was not going to beat Blaze. Well, he shouldn't have beat Blaze.
This should not have happened.
It's actually such a weird situation right now. I'm confusing myself for Even Wolf.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's talk about this. Symbol has played only twice out of so many possible potential games.
An entire year.
So many Jin players have also like left and traveled, so you would think he would have played more. And I have to say, Symbol played a solid game. I don't want to say like he played incredibly, but
just the execution from Blaze was very off today.
Yeah,
those full shields are delayed. I almost like, I remember looking at some of them and I'm like, is his hookies okay? Like,
yeah,
is he lagging right now? Like, why did he force field like 10 roaches into his army?
He force fielded the roaches into his Colossus, and then it was not a horrendous position from that point. He could have definitely microed the Colossus, but then he didn't touch it.
Yeah.
He just let it sit there and eat the damage. Symbol's probably himself even disappointed with that game. He's like, wow, I got my first win like this, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted to win a real game.
Oh, well. Either way, great for Jin, right?
Yeah, we're being very critical, but this is a very